the opportunity to be in the multi-unit space, it sort of like helped me align your core values, because in order for you to be out there and connecting with people, you have to have that self-examination. Are you worthy of other people's trust?
Welcome to the Conscious Investor. Let's get started. Conscious investors, welcome back. I am so excited to have you for another episode of the Conscious Investor podcast. You already knew that because you tuned into the podcast. So I'm being redundant, aren't I? But that's not atypical for me because, it's that kind of a day. I'm just going to be straight up here. I literally put earbuds in that weren't connected. They were connected to my phone and not my computer. So it's been a very entertaining afternoon. Now, sometimes when those type of situations happen, we end up getting frustrated with ourselves and, kind of think, oh gosh, it's going to be one of those kind of days. And I just brush it up, and you can ask our amazing guest, Victoria. I just laugh. It just is what it is. It just is part of humanity. And you know what? Now we get to, have this amazing conversation. So today I am joined by an extraordinary woman, and she is just like such a joy, such a breath of fresh air. I was able to meet her in person at the Best Ever Conference, which is a phenomenal conference. If you haven't attended Joe Fairless's Best Ever Conference, I'm not even getting paid to say this, which is crazy. I'm promoting it and I don't even get anything for it, but it is seriously an extraordinary event that you don't want to miss. Next year, it will be in Salt Lake City, I think in March. So you want to make sure you check that out, because the type of people that you actually get to meet, people like Victoria. So Victoria, I just want to say, I've been looking forward to recording this podcast with you. And you've come out of your own little bit of hecticness at, your job as well. So we're two peas in a pod. Welcome to the Conscious Investor.
Oh, I'm beyond excited too, to be talking to you and just, having a conversation, and hopefully we can continue the inspiration to our audience.
Oh, I have no doubt that we will. And, I know it's a sidebar, but I'm sharing about the earbud debacle, and it's like one of those, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now moments? and we're just chuckling over it. And meanwhile, do you mind sharing a little bit about what took place at your work?
Oh, yeah. I work as an operating room nurse, and I'm the assistant manager. And I had this text from my manager about, we had a little bit of a water incident at work.
Water incident.
A sprinkler and a pipe burst that had caused flooding. And it is like one of the most epic, you don't want to be in that situation kind of ever in your professional life, but it happened. And so, we came to the rescue. It's been eventful 8-9 days, but the best thing is, our team is great, the leadership, and everybody just hands on deck. We were able to just breeze through collaborative teamwork at its best. And the good thing is we were not able to cancel any cases, and all the patients that have been waiting for all this surgical procedure have been done. So
I think that's just absolutely amazing. And I love that. I mean, if you're watching on YouTube, and she's just beautiful, and she's just radiant and joyful. And it's like, oh yeah, there's flooding at the operating room, which never happens ever. And we managed to figure everything out and resolve the situation, and just picture of grace. So, I just think that is wonderful. And maybe an example, if you're feeling frustrated right now with something that's happening in your life, personally and professionally, take a deep breath, let it out. I think Victoria and I would say, go pray. God loves you.
Exactly.
And it's going to be okay. So
light at the end of the tunnel.
there is definitely a light at the end of the tunnel. Oh man. So Victoria, we were talking about passive investing, and you and your husband Jasper, you're very involved in real estate investing. And I'm always curious how people even get started. How did you even discover that was an option, that you could passively invest in real estate?
Well, our experience came out of necessity when we found out that we had going to have our third baby, unplanned, but definitely not unwanted. And so I said, oops, we're not going to be able to retire early. So we have to have backup plans other than our profession. So, that was sort of like intentional, that we got to find ways of, and so we started saving and tried owning rentals, single family space. And and that was the first taste of our passive investment. We manage our own single family rentals. And then when COVID hit, and another wave of epiphany, that I said, whoa, as frontline caregiver, it was such an eye-opening time that, a lot of people I know got sick or even died, so much uncertainty. And so I was like, life is not guaranteed. And if there are things in my vision board, I don't want to delay it. I want to do it now, because I don't know if I can still travel. I don't know if I can still enjoy life. So if there are things that we want to do, we want to do it now. And so we found syndication, and this is our way of scaling up. And if you push yourself to the unknown, you will find that there are other ways that you can grow exponentially other than what you know. So so you just have to really be a seeker and educate yourself and surround yourself with people that you can trust. It's essential that you have a team, just like at work. I knew that it was a disaster, but the team made it through. Same thing with investment, especially in passive investment. Know the team that can run a business model very well, and you can trust. And there you go.
I love that. I got to go back and ask you, what's the top thing on your vision board that you're like, no, this is going to be the next thing that we do?
They're I should say probably top three. Number one is to really retire early. And so if we can afford 5 years of earlier time, other than, retiring at 60, 62, that is my number one. Number two, so that I can spend more time with family, quality time, especially with the kids and my aging parents. And then, of course, travel and to do the things that I wanted to do and not wait before I retire, because then I would have the resources. And so I can also do a lot of passion work. My husband and I are servant leaders at church, and we just want to be able to serve without having to worry about, I don't have any money to serve, or, work. You need that. So, yeah.
Gosh, I love it. I love just how balanced that is. And it's beautiful. And the contribution back is huge. Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
So when you had single family, what was that experience like? Because a lot of times people do start their investing journey in the singles family space. I know we did. And we thought that would be a wonderful thing to do. So what was the highs and lows of that experience?
Well, definitely the highs, because it introduced us firsthand experience, because we manage our own properties. It was fun for us because we are a people person. As nurses, we search for our own tenants, and we communicate to them, and that was not an issue. I think the issue is if they have any immediate needs and you're out of town and, you call your friends, can you please fix the sink or something like that? And then, of course, it afforded you some equity, and then you really have a firsthand information. It's just the basics of managing and growing. But we realized it was a snail pace. And we realized that we were just working on our comfort zone, because this is, we can do our W-2 job, which we continue to love, and then we can manage just what we can do. So I didn't realize it was, when I got into the concept of law of abundance, one of the reasons why we went into choosing our first of a single family was around the campus of the place that I work with, is to serve even the community. But I didn't realize that just by being in that space, I'm only serving few. Whereas if I become a passive investor, I mean, everything just really scales up. The path to growth, and even, I didn't realize that if I continue to invest passively, I am also serving a lot of people, housing. And that's to me, that's sort of like something that we can be proud of, and we can talk about it with our kids, that we're saving and we're being mindful of our financial resources. We're not wasting, because this is our goal, and we also include them as part of that, like decision making.
Oh, okay. Really into the decision making, or?
Well, because part of the decision making is when I say we are limiting our expenses in terms of buying unnecessary things, or is it really a need versus a want? Because, we're trying to really showing them the ropes on how to manage finances responsibly.
That is so imperative in today's day and age for kids. And I have this feeling that even by nature of the monetary system being more digitized, whether we like it or not, people swipe cards or put their phone up or something like that, where there's more of a disconnect versus, when we were kids, you probably got paid with cash and coins in some capacity. And so to not actually have that tangible and to have to be able to navigate that is also such a different, dimension to that education. So I love that you're teaching them so diligently.
Yes. And even the vision board too. We share it to them that, we want to travel, and that is why we're saving and we're not wasting a lot. I mean, we do eat out, but not as every weekend, because we do have the stuff in our vision board that we want to attain, and they are part of that.
That's so cool. My daughter has a vision board. She wants to buy a purebred King Charles Cavalier, which is a dog breed. And they're so adorable, but we have a local breeder in our small town, and they have a price tag associated, but she's been working and saving, and she has a vision board, and that dog is on the vision board.
See that it helps them to really stay focused.
Yeah. I love that even that desire and determination for your own vision and your goals, it just translates down to your kids. So you have the single family. I wasn't a fan of it either, because it felt vulnerable. I'm like, golly, you get a few $100 a month maybe, but you have one incident that happens and you have to repair air conditioning or something. You're done. Your profits are gone. So I was looking for something where it had a business plan built into it that would protect us and preserve us, even when, things go sideways. We always had a nice set of reserves, but I love the business plan of an apartment complex. Yeah. It feels like a warm blanket.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. So how did you exit out of single family?
We are not fully exiting yet. We're slowly.
Nice.
Because, as we are gaining traction with multi-unit, we're also, evaluating which one is performing less so that we know exactly what to sell first. And because the income around, I guess it depends on the market. And it just so happen that we're around an area where rental space is really needed. So it is still working for us, but we are looking at, letting go one by one.
That's nice.
Yes, because the sense of control, in a way, we're managing it on our own. We have to slowly let go of that.
Okay, so really what I'm hearing is we want to slowly relinquish the control over this. Oh, that's so fantastic. So fantastic. So if you don't mind, like, tell us about your first passive investment and how you found it and how did you decide? Because there are so many deals and people out there promoting deals.
Yeah. Well, I guess I did my research on my own before I jump into a deal, that I was actually ready, and I was just looking for somebody that I can trust. And I knew of somebody, Michael Lucero and Regina, we belong in the same faith community, and I said, "Oh my goodness, they're doing this," because I've always known them as flippers. But when he posted that he's into syndication, I said, "This is the time. This is it." I did not know anything about the numbers or anything, but I just needed to know that there's one person I can trust. Yeah. So I think that was important for me, that I know somebody, because, after reading everything, after hearing and listening to all the podcasts, but they were all strangers to me.
Right.
Yes. And that in itself, to find somebody that you know and that you can trust, that was it. That was the key. That was the start.
That's a really big key right there. I got to ask you. So I really have a strong intuition about people in general. Right. And so I can't rely. I've learned to temper it to make sure I'm not fully relying on it. But that part about actually feeling a level of connection is so important to me, where I don't want to just throw money at, whoever it is on the streets, or like, for instance, right now I'm raising capital for a deal and I've been making phone calls. I'm like, I don't like hiding behind the screen. I don't want to hide behind some email type thing. Like, I want to have a real conversation with you. It's so it's so interesting how that goes, happens. And, those relationships are absolutely critical. Do you have any advice for people who might be listening and they're at the beginning of their journey and they're like, I don't have those people in my life. I don't have those relationships. Do you have any tips as to how to go about building out those relationships?
I think it starts on trusting yourself, that and just be an authentic. I mean, having the opportunity to be in the multi-unit space, it sort of like helped me align your core values, because in order for you to be out there and connecting with people, you have to have that self-examination. Are you worthy of other people's trust? So, and I guess in the nursing profession, we are accustomed to people trusting us with, their care, their lives, in whatever facets this is. So we take things very seriously. So I'm just passing that energy from my work to the business side. And if you, or whatever work experience that you have, your work ethics, it is but natural to flow that authentic self and just be that authentic person that people would love to connect. You know how it feels to be talking to somebody, and you know that you're connecting, you're being heard. And, I know that it's not going to be a perfect case scenario 100% of the time, but just be your authentic self and connect with people, and have the time, invest with time to really get to know the people. That's very key. And, be intentional in connecting to people as well. When we go out there on our events, I try not to do a mess, just giving my business card. Hi, hello. Right. I want to sit down and I want to have some minutes of real conversation with you. We can connect. I want to know who you are. What do you do? Do you have kids, or what's your goal? We can start from that. Just just listen to people.
I love that. I know there are times where I'll go to events and there will be specific people where if I find out they're going, it's very much clear in my mind. I want to make sure that I meet that person in person. I'm so much about, and I think you're similar in this way where I want to meet you in person. And if we can, and if we're going to partner in some capacity, I want to break bread with you probably. And, it's really powerful when you have those, and I don't know, let me throw this out your way. I like having the one-off, not real estate conversation, so that I can hear somebody. It's like you're saying, you hear who they are, you hear what they're about, you hear what's important to them, and you really tell if there's an alignment.
Yeah. Because
with or without a business deal, you can tell a lot about people just in conversation.
Yes. Exactly. And that human connection is very important.
But yeah, I don't know if this resonates with you at all, but I really am particular about, do I feel comfortable picking up the phone and asking this person a question, or am I going to feel uncomfortable in any capacity? Because if I feel uncomfortable, then I'm not going to pick up the phone and ask that question that might be really important. And so I like to make sure, is there a comfort level that's going on?
Yeah. Exactly.
I love it. So what was that first deal like? Are you still in it? Has it gone full cycle? Is it sold, or?
So it was just last December, so I'm still in it. And it was exciting to receive our first distribution. It's like, oh my goodness, this is it. This really is it.
Yeah.
It's not a scam.
But isn't that true? The whole time you're like, we felt the same way. Like, is it? Oh, wow. There's money that arrived in the account. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's funny because Jasper and I almost had a fight right after the deal presentation, because we didn't know what to do with filling up the investor portal. And I guess it was the anxiety of, this is it. We're going to wire funds already.
Right.
This is so uncommon and, unnatural for us, especially if you're in the single family space, that we do everything. You sign your paperwork and you meet the lawyer and all that, and you see, but, like I said, going back to, you really have to have that person that you can trust. So, yes, I'm still in the deal. It's a really good cash flowing deal. And so I'm about to embark on our third LP, and potentially becoming our first GP deal as well.
Oh, that's really, really exciting. So tell us about going, so we go from the active, we go from the passive side. So you've really you've done what a lot of investors do. I love my job, but I want to retire early, get involved in single family. And then, well, wait a second, maybe that's not the best path that we want to do. And now you go and invest passively in apartments. And now it's like, maybe we should get involved on the active side. So tell us about what that transition that you're making.
Yeah, it's actually been nerve-wracking too, because then I guess we are students of life. We just continue to love learning, and in order for us to continue to do this for life, I want to be able to understand the active part of it, like how really a deal is being run, so that you can be a better investor for life. Because you also want to see yourself not doing it actively, but just passively, and whatever income you can generate, just park it and continue to grow. But then I want to be able to understand how it's being run, so that effectively in the future, I can be at peace, and just letting all my resources work for us passively.
Mm-hmm. I love that. There is like that hands-on learning is really, it's fun. It's exciting. And you and Jasper are very hands-on. I mean, when you have single family and you manage them yourself, it's a very hands-on approach.
Right.
I love it.
This is just really scaling up from passive to active, and gonna be able to walk the talk.
Right. Yes. And let me ask you this. What do your kids think of all of this?
So it's funny that you asked, because we brought them in the Denver event last July, and of course, my eldest daughter, who's in sophomore college, she was taking notes, and they were also making vision boards along with us. And I think my eldest daughter got it, but my teenager and my 10-year-old, we just want them to see why and what we are doing, and understand that this is a real thing, that our parents are into it. And so if we are busy, if we are running a lot of things between professional and the business, we circle back into why are we doing this? Because we're bored, and you're part of this. And but it doesn't mean that if you need anything, we'll drop everything. But you're part of this. This is us.
I love that. I think it's so empowering for them to see those type of, that role modeled out for them. And I was thinking, if we're going to build, and I've told my son this, I said, if you want me to leave anything to you about this, you really got to understand how to manage this, because otherwise it will be gone. And if that's the case, if you don't want to learn about this, it might be left in a different capacity. Might not be left to you, because I'm not going to build something only to leave it to, like, it wouldn't be responsible on my part. So it's not a pressure type situation, but it's that it's not difficult to learn, and you can pick this up over the years along the way.
Yeah, and it's giving them an option too, that they can do this along with whatever they want to do in life.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Goodness. Do you have any final tips that you would have for people that are, just venturing into passive investing?
Don't delay.
Amen. Amen.
We had known this much earlier, we could have done more deals. But be done with analysis paralysis. You just gonna have to get your feet wet, and be prepared to just be in awe as to where this would lead you, because it's just gonna be one good thing after another.
I love that advice. I love that. And sometimes I remember looking at the projections for our first deal and thinking, like, I don't know, is that really worth it? But I knew it was better. Year one projections just really aren't very enticing on some of the deals that we were looking at least. And so, but anyhow, here we are, and they're getting ready to do potentially a cash out refi. And I mean, we've been getting strong distributions, and they've been growing, and we get this cash out refi possibility, or they might just totally sell it. Either way, I think it looks like we're tripling our money in a very short period of time. And so it's like, oh, okay. Once you have those ahas, it would be the first one that, to go full cycle. So it's just interesting,
Yeah. And if, like I said, if we have known this earlier, we could have done much more, and we could have reach our vision board much earlier.
But now
Yeah, now we know. It's not.
it is never too late for anyone. Amen on that. Totally. Victoria, what is the best place for people, to reach you and get in touch with you?
Yeah, Facebook, you can find me, Victoria Yap or Jasper Yap. And we also have www.bravepartners.com. Or you can just reach out. I mean, yeah, we're active in I guess my husband is also at the Instagram. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we are both Facebook and Instagram. And I guess you can also find me along with Julie because I'm a friend of her.
Yes, you can.
And we do meetups, and I'm just so happy, Julie, that we've met, come across, our world has connected. And this is the beauty of this, because it's a law of abundance. You grow not only in other means of financial resources, but the non-tangibles are the friendship and the connection and the growth, the people that will continue to inspire you, that models you to just continue to grow. It's phenomenal.
I agree with that so much. So just having people like you in my life, where it's just, I would not have met you outside of this, more than likely. And it's just these extraordinary people. It's amazing. We love to bring our kids to events too. Just one reason is just because we want them to see, look at these people, look at these extraordinary people. Everyone has maybe a different career path or a different path and different reason to get into investing, but everyone is so generous and positive, abundance mindset. It's a great culture to be around.
Yes. Especially, outside of this, it can be unsettling. It can be, anxiety producing, but there is that space, and you just have to be intentional in finding that connection that brings out positive energy.
I love it. Thank you so much, Victoria, for taking time to join me.
Thank you.
It's been absolutely delightful.
Likewise.
To you, amazing conscious investors, thank you so much for tuning in. And you know what? Remember that podcasts are really amazing, and they're even better when you share them with a friend. So if you have not shared a podcast episode ever, or it's been a while, please make sure share this podcast episode with a friend that this would be, helpful, informative, encouraging, whatever it is. It's a great way to say, I care about you. And it's a great way to support this show. And remember, adventure belongs. That's right. You filled it in your brain, on the trail, not in your investing, not in your personal life, and not in your professional life. And so if you need any support, make sure you hop on my calendar, schedule a coaching strategy session if you need some support in leveling up. Remember, we like to collapse those timelines so that you can reach and exceed your goals in a better way, healthy ways. And remember, financially, if you're looking for an investment in the next strategy, make sure you schedule a discovery call so that we can talk about your investment goals and see what the best fit is. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, live big, love bigger. What's the big deal about investing in apartments? Why is it better than investing in a slew of single-family homes? I've compiled a lot of information on why investing in a multifamily, also known as apartments, will help you reach your investment goals. Head over to 3keysinvestments.com and download the Why Invest in Multifamily guide today.